Before we go to questions, I just want to quickly just make a mention of the crowd. Unbelievable. The walk from the Blackwell over to the Skull Session. The Skull Session was standing room only, and then the walk over to the stadium, and then to see everybody in the stadium, 105,000 for this night game was unbelievable. And, we wanted to make sure that we played well in this game because of that. So I just want to thank Buckeye Nation for showing out in a big way.
All right, we're going to open it up with questions. We'll go over here to the left. Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch.
Ryan, CJ, was that as good as you've seen from him? And how good is he at reading defenses? I think you've said that may be what he's the best at. But
yeah, he has very good vision. But I thought CJ had a good week of practice. I thought his attitude was excellent. I thought his work ethic was excellent. I thought the time he put in on his own was excellent. We had a tough week of practice. We did. We were physical on Tuesday, physical on Wednesday. We got a ton of reps. We just felt like we needed to do that, and he embraced that. That's a lot. It's as the quarterback, you take a lot on. But his attitude was excellent. His energy was excellent today, and he played really well. I think he fed off having Jackson and Julian back in the lineup too, which was great. But I thought overall the combination of the run game and the pass game early on allowed us to get some momentum.
More than just a couple NFL throws into windows and.
Yeah, I mean, he's very, very talented. And you saw, I would say a wide variety of throws tonight, like you're saying. You saw some in the red zone and a couple on third down, and that's where you make your money as a quarterback, is in the red zone and on third down. We talked a lot about staying on schedule and making sure we didn't have any 3-and-outs in this game. That was important. Certainly the penalties were something that were lingering coming off of last week. So a lot of things. We still got a long way to go. But I thought the offensive line played physical, and they practiced that way this week. So it doesn't surprise me they played that way. But I thought we did a good job up front. Next week we got a conference opponent, so everything's going to be even harder. So usually we wait till Sunday to move on to Wisconsin. We'll do that as we leave the stadium tonight.
Over here to the left, Austin Ward, Rivals 97.1 The Fan.
Ryan, I'm not sure exactly what word was used at School Session, but I felt like this team wanted a dominant performance, or you wanted one.
Yep.
Did this match up what you were expecting or hoping for?
Yeah, I thought, I would say so, but didn't come without its faults, flaws, issues, things we got to keep growing on and building on. But I thought offensively we got to a good rhythm running. I thought we finished things off in the red zone well. We were physical up front, and I thought Toledo going in had a good front, and I still think they do. And it was good to get 2 turnovers on defense. Anytime you can do that when the offense is moving the way it does, that's how you flip the scoreboard like we did in the second half. So, their quarterback was very athletic and made a lot of plays, and we got to take a look at, how we can contain the quarterback better than that. And there were a few things there we got to clean up for sure going into conference play. But certainly when you look at the scoreboard, we're proud of what we did.
Over to the left, Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
Sorry to just move on to some the personnel kind of bookkeeping stuff, but Proctor and McAllister and Mike Hall, none of them were on the availability report. Nobody played tonight. What's the situation with them?
Yeah, they were all available. We just felt like it was the right thing to do coming out of warm-ups to hold them in the game. But we're expecting them to be available for next week as well.
Early word on Trevion, what the extent of that is?
Yeah, there's a handful of those kind of things that are going on, but we haven't seen anything that we think is going to be long-term. So we'll kind of regroup after tonight and figure out where everything's at. But this was a situation with a lot of those guys that we just wanted to, out of the abundance of caution, make sure that they were 100% before we put them in the game. And same thing with Julian and Jackson. We got them some reps and then kind of got them out of there. So that was good. But yeah, there was a few things that were, a few guys that were struggling with a couple things that we decided to hold on.
Over to the right, Bill Landis, Rivals.
Ryan, how long have you guys been sitting on the I formation stuff? And I guess, what did you think of that? And then more generally, what have you thought of your sort of low red zone execution finishing off drives this year?
Well, we thought with the 100th year anniversary of the horseshoe that it'd be good to line up in the I and hand the ball to the fullback for a touchdown. So we wanted to get that done this year. No, but Mitch is a weapon for us, and we're trying to build those packages. I think you saw what Cade can do. You saw his versatility now. Firstly, you know how tough he is and how physical he is the line of scrimmage, but now you're starting to see what he can be a weapon in the passing game. We actually missed him a couple times in the end zone that were close. And then G. Scott is really starting to grow for us as well. He's become, somebody that can do a lot of things. He's an athletic tight end for us, so that gives us a little something. And then Mitch gives us a little bit of something as well. So that's exciting. Not having Jackson play really, in the second half of the first game and really in game 2, not having Julian available has allowed us to build some depth, but also look at a couple different packages, which hopefully pays off for us moving forward.
Over to the left, Cameron Teague Robinson, the Athletic.
Ryan, kind of off that about the I-form. I mean, you guys had a sweep to a Mecca. You had the pass to Cade, like you said, probably could have been a touchdown. The hand off to Mitch. You have guys who can do a lot of stuff. How much does that open the book in the I-form when you guys are down on the goal line?
Well, we want to be creative the best we can down there, and when you have those type of guys with those type of skill sets, they can do a lot of things. They can get physical in the run game, then create conflict for some of the linebackers and safety, run pass, but then also having the ability to get the ball in the perimeter like you saw in that one play. And that's a good job by the offensive staff, coming in there with different ideas on how to attack defenses. And anytime you can be multiple like that with groupings or formations, then you put defense in stress.
Over here to the right, Clay Hall, WSYX.
You finished 13 yards off the school record for total offense with 763. On the other side, how beneficial to defensive quarterback like Finn? How will that maybe help down the road?
Yeah, well, certainly there was some things exposed that we got to get cleaned up. But that's growing as a team and growing as an offense, growing as a defense. And we'll get back and try to figure out what those are. And, I think the one good thing is, we in the first game we play Notre Dame, and then we come back with 2 non-conference opponents here in Arkansas State and Toledo. So we've seen a couple different things. We've been challenged in different areas. So we have 3 games under our belt to try to evaluate what we need to get fixed and what we need to keep enhancing going into conference play, which is good. I think that's healthy for us.
Far left, Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
Ryan, you kind of touched on it, but obviously the explosive plays have been there these first 3 weeks here, but just the way you guys executed in the red zone this week with the variety, especially with the I-form stuff, like just talk about that and how happy you were with that today.
Yeah, well, I mean, we wanted to execute at a higher level this week going in and taking pride in our execution because we know that we can do that on offense. We can run the football. We've shown that we can do that. Now, that doesn't mean anything next week. All that matters is, what we do next week, but we've shown we can do that. We've shown that we can throw the football. And I think today you saw some of the play action where we put guys in run conflicts, conflict that opened up some tight end throws down the field, a couple things that we did, which was good. So anytime you can run, play action pass, drop back pass, that's the sign of a good offense. And we need to keep building on that. And, we feel like if we put the work in during the week, and now it's just about execution on Saturdays. But we need to regroup and go have another great week of practice this week.
Front row right here, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Yeah, the opening of the coin toss, you didn't defer. You took the ball. Was that just kind of a sense of urgency and just want to jump on it right away?
I talked to the team about it. Said, we want to start fast in this game. And typically that's not something that we do. It's very rare. I don't know if maybe that's the first time we've done it. Since I've been the head coach, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember when we've done that before, but yeah, talked to them about it. And the guys like that. They wanted to get some juice going early on, and we felt like that was the right thing to do. But when you do that, you got to go score the first possession, and we did that. And I thought we built some momentum for the day.
Got time for just a couple more. We'll go deep left. Spencer Holbrook, Letterman Row.
Ryan, Jackson kind of speaks for himself coming back into the lineup, but to get Julian back, you guys talked about him so much being an Iron Buckeye and the offseason that he had. What did it mean to get him back in the lineup? Yeah,
great for the room. You can see now the depth that we have, and when you're playing a full game, we're gonna need all those guys. We just are. And we knew we'd need all these guys. We didn't know that we'd need all of them. In the first game against Notre Dame, like we did. Next catches the big touchdown pass, but. Yeah, we're going to need all these guys throughout the year, and Julian's had a really good offseason. So to see him come back, because, he's had a few nagging injuries here and there, and then he's really made great progress, has the Iron Buckeye. The whole thing's got a lot of momentum, and then gets this little tweak. The easy thing to do is get really frustrated. He didn't do that. He stayed positive, took care of his business, did a great job in rehab, and then to go see him make some plays tonight and get rewarded off of that was great. And he had 2 touchdown catches, right? So I mean that's big for him. And he didn't play a full game. We just wanted to probably play him for about a half, and then hopefully build some momentum in the next week.
Front row right here, Tim May on 3.
Yeah, real quick, is Travion kind of dealing with what he dealt with last year, off and on?
This was a new thing.
Okay.
Yeah, this was a little.
But what I want to follow with, thank goodness Dallin Hayden showed up. I mean, obviously you were talking about him, the pair and the spare aspect, and it showed up tonight. And what'd you just see out of him getting that extended action?
Well, he's practiced well. He's taken care of the football, and so is TC. Quite honestly, both of those guys have done a nice job in practice. But the number one thing for those guys, they have to take care of the football, because if they can build trust with the whole coaching staff, obviously the offensive staff, myself, Coach Alford, that's the number one thing: protection and taking care of the football. They've done that. Now they can let their natural ability take over. And I thought Dallin ran hard. He's done that in practice. So to see him in this, for his first time out play like this, you can see his quickness in the hole. He's got good vision. He's got power. And he's got a chance to be a really good back.
All right, Coach, thank you very much.
Have a good night, guys.
All right, folks, what we're going to do is I'm going to bring CJ Stroud up to this main podium right here, and I've got 4 players that if there's a table back there with linens on it, I need you to clear those off, and I'm going to bring 4 players back there. Keith, if we can switch the audios, keep it on in the press box, please. We'll go with the smaller speaker here for the main podium. I'm going to start off with CJ Stroud over here, and then, guys, I'll take 4 of you.
You got a sheet. Jerry.
Yep.
Jerry got
Okay.
Jerry.
Yeah. Okay, I've got Ronnie Hickman, Jack Sawyer, Julian Fleming, and Emeka was up here first, Cam, I'm sorry. And Emeka Abuka, all in the back. So, guys, if you can just go along the right here, there's 4 tables back there with tablecloths on. People are just going to gather around and ask you questions there.
Hey.
All right, we're going to open up to the front here with Bill Rabinowitz. A question for CJ Stroud.
Tonight, did it feel like anything you wanted to do, you could do?
First and foremost, I just want to give all glory and praise to God. Definitely had a blessed night, man. I just pray for really just protection over Toledo and us. And I definitely think that he had his hand over us today. So just got to give all glory and praise to him. But, yeah, I think we were clicking. Coach Day's message this whole week was just starting early, just trying to be more consistent with the ball when we start with the ball, which we chose to do this game. And I'm not going to speak to that. But so we come out, connect on a couple throws, and I definitely think that got our juices rolling. Trey punches it in, and then at that time, I think we're rolling. And then we I don't think we punted until that third quarter. So I definitely think that we started early, which was a great thing that we wanted to accomplish.
Okay, we're going to go over here for Clay Hall, and then we'll go to Rob Aller then.
CJ, folks were talking about 2 or 3 NFL throws there. How did you get the ball to Marvin early in the game over 2 defenders? It's like you threatened. You know that.
I mean, we practice on throws like that. Coach Dennis and Coach Fitch definitely do a great job with repetition of that in practice, of just throwing over defenders and being confident while doing it. I definitely think that's the most important thing when making those type of throws, is being confident. And so they definitely feed that to me every week. And so shout out to Coach Dennis, Coach Fitch. We do our little 1-inch drills over I think those are baseball nets. And so we do that on the regular. But then, I give glory and praise to God at the same time too, just have that blessing of that vision. So I definitely don't think it's by accident. We definitely practice on that. I'm not 100% sure which one you're talking about, because there was a couple that Marvin had that were really good. And Marvin did a great job of going up top and getting those. So I definitely, he's a big body receiver. He has every aspect of his game has definitely been shown, and it will continue to grow. So excited to see what he does the rest of the year.
Okay, Rob Aller. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, CJ, how much film do you watch in a week, and do you enjoy doing it? For some guys, it's a chore, but I get the feel that you enjoy it.
Yes, sir, definitely. I definitely think the resources that we have at Ohio State with George, our film guy who gets me set up with everything, and I definitely just enjoy it just because it's kind of therapeutic to me. It helps me get away from certain issues I may be going through at the time, or just away from the outside world. And I definitely just think that football is definitely something God called me to do. So if I can lock in for a couple hours and knock out some real good film study, then I can, one, help us win. But then when we do win, God willing, I can give his name all the glory and praise. So I think that kind of plays into it as well. Just God gave me the talent. Now I have to put in the work. So
I know your career is a progression, but did you have a moment over the last year where it clicked, where something clicked for you and it just kind of started to make sense and you could see, boy, I'm a different guy?
I'm not sure. I mean, I always kind of just try to keep my head down and work. I definitely think that my confidence is definitely boosted. I think that maybe that was a click. Maybe that was on and off that I first put on maybe in that Rose Bowl game last season. Kind of playing confident in that game kind of forced me to be the momentum to roll and for me to be confident this season. And I definitely think just me being a leader and a captain on the team is when they see I'm confident, I think our offense and our whole team is confident, which is I think that's a great thing for the Buckeyes. So continue to build on that.
Over here to the right, Tim May on 3.
CJ, did you have any words of advice to Dallin Hayden? Obviously, he had to tote the rock a lot tonight because of a situation. But what have you seen out of him over the last month or so that gives you faith in him going down the road?
Right. I definitely just try to build him, just gave him some early confidence going in there. Just told him, man, just like, you've been playing this game since you've been 6 years old. It's the same game you've been playing. Just go out there, have fun. And I kind of forced him to take a deep breath with me back into the backfield. Like once he didn't start like rambling or nothing, but I just made him do that just to relax, because I think that definitely helps. And he kind of calmed down. I told him, bro, you hit it hard enough, you're gonna break one. And so he broke a couple, which I'm really proud of. And he's a super hard worker. He practices really hard. Him and Coach Alfred are definitely on film study when it comes to protections and things like that. And Trey and Mayan do a great job helping them. And then TC does a great job as well with kind of the same role of just, if we need you, bro, you got to go in there and do your thing. And I definitely think they both had confidence on there, so I'm really proud of them.
Over here to the left, Steven Means, Cleveland.com.
CJ, 2 things. One, you kept it and you ran. But also, more importantly, on those times when you're scrambling, how do you develop, poise in those moments? Like, how did you develop that throughout your life, developing that type of poise?
Right. Yeah, I appreciate you pointing out that I ran a little bit. It felt good to get hit a little bit. And I ain't gonna lie, I probably could have did a little more. Kind of caught me off guard, but definitely think I did the right thing by pulling the ball on that play, and then had to scramble on a couple other ones. But I definitely think just this repetition, kind of growing up, just playing in the backyard back home in Cali, just with my boys, just back in the backfield, just playing whatever, you know what I'm saying? I definitely think that you build that kind of like knack for the game then, and then you continue to grow. So Coach Day does a good job during like 7-on-7 and certain periods where we have what we call scramble drill, where we just try to make a play happen. But at the same time, he advises me to be smart. And one of those I threw away just because I knew that he would probably be mad if I tried it. So definitely just try to be a team player in those aspects. Just if I can make a play, make one. But if not, just throw it away and be smart.
Over here to the back, Mark Coons, BCSN.
Target him quite a bit in that first quarter. Was that the game plan? Was that what the defense was giving you, and just the job he provided and what the spark he gives the offense when you get that type of target?
Right. I definitely think that's just Cade, man. He's very, very versatile. I'm shooting myself in the foot. I missed him in the back. That killed me. I just get so excited in the plays like that. I just kind of, those are really the hardest throws when the people are wide open. I don't know why that is, but I mean, I wish I hit him, but he was all good with it. Still had a great game, phenomenal game. Blocked his tail off and also ran great routes, great body language. And it's just exciting for him to kind of see his work pay off, man. He's probably the person I look up to on the team, honestly. And he just continues to, he always puts confidence in me, just his knack just to win and want to just dominate people. And I definitely appreciate Cade. He's a great leader, great man of God. And then, of course, he works on the farm, but you can see in his work ethic, and it's starting to pay off for him, which I'm super excited for him. And I definitely think he'll continue to be great.
We have time for 2 more questions for CJ, and then I'm going to bring Coach Wilson up here. Pat Murphy, 24/7 Sports.
CJ, you talked about getting Julian back, but we got to see more of what he could do tonight. What did he add to the offense, and what can he do? Coach Day said the plan was only to play a half. What can he do as he continues to build?
Right. I think he showed everybody what he can do in a small glimpse. I definitely think that people kind of maybe they forgot about him or whatever the case may be, but at the same time, he's quick to remind people He's been working really, really hard in the offseason. So I'm super proud of him to be able to come in and impact the game that quick with a hell of a catch on the sideline. And then that second touchdown where he just had crisp route running and body language. And appreciate it, Jack. And I definitely think Julian it has a lot more football ahead of him, and he'll continue to be great. And I'm super excited to see where. But it all starts with his hard work, man. He gotta pat himself on the back, honestly, just because he took this offseason very serious of just getting better with route running, being more crisp, and living a good life outside of the field. I mean, outside of the Woody. And I definitely think he did that. So I'm super happy for him to finally get on that side of winning.
And final questions for CJ, Katie Capusta, Spectrum.
Hey, CJ, talking about Julian, to have him and JSN both back this week, what kind of confidence does that give you going into the game? You started about starting fast, and how do you think other teams see you guys as more of a threat now that they've seen all the weapons you have?
Right. Great question, CJ. Great name. I definitely think that plays a part. Starting early is one of our focus points, just because, I mean, what type of team we have, once we get momentum rolling, it's kind of hard to stop us. And I think, it starts with just execution. And then JSN and Julian definitely help with that. They're veterans on the team now. Luke does a great job with protections, and I definitely think my O-line did an amazing job picking up the blitzes and keeping their D-line honest. And their D-line was pretty good. We knew this was a good Toledo team coming in here. They're nothing to play away. They love moments like this because that's how they show how great they are. So I definitely think that we answered the bell when it came to that, just starting early. And it's just about execution and taking pride in that. And I definitely think that we did that and we'll continue to build. But it's going to take more because now we're going to Big Ten play, and we just got to be more and more focused and stick together and just keep rolling with this good momentum.
Great. CJ, thank you very much.
Guys.
We're going to call Coach Wilson up to the main podium then, please. Yep. We'll open up, Coach, with Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
Kevin, just talk about the I formation stuff in the red zone, and how did that kind of come into play?
Say again, please.
The I formation stuff in the red zone. Just talk about how that came into play.
I mean, we've been doing, short yardage for a couple, like last year and this year with, Mitch as kind of the lead back, and so we've had that as a wing. We've done it with an extra lineman. Sometimes we have Josh Fryer playing as a D lineman, or we can have Cade, we can have G. Scott. We didn't have Joe Roy tonight with the minor thing, but he should be good. So we could get in 2 or 3 tight ends with Mitch as a lead blocker. We could also, from that set, jump to wing sets with him and not substitutes. It's very versatile. So it's the first time we've had it in since the first week. First time we had that little dive, just a 1-yard play. We didn't really block it very cleanly, but it was nice to get Mitch a touch and get him in the end zone. So
room maybe allow you to do it, have more variety in what you want to do in those sets, maybe than.
Well, I think you just play to the strength of those guys. Good question. I mean, so you wouldn't be in that formation if you didn't have the guy or guys that think you could do it. And so we got like in a little I wing formation a couple times around the off tackle power play. We had the power pass off that we missed at CJ. So he had Cade on a little corner route that we missed. We had a lead play, just a lead stretch play that didn't work well, and there's a few plays you have, and then we hit Mitch on the quick little dive up the middle. So, but yeah, those guys they're very unique. G's coming on very nice, playing better. Played the last 2 weeks the most he's played. Cade's kind of the big tight end with really good ball skills. Mitch is kind of the hybrid, more of a fullback blocker, but kind of good in short space. And I think it's a good group. I think Coach Day's gotten very comfortable playing to their strengths, and we're getting those guys involved. And I think it just helps complement with the receivers the skill of our offense. I think it makes our team a little bit more complete as that group plays well.
We're going to go over here. Bill Landis from from Rivals, and then we'll go Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch.
Change your companies?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
How do you feel about the way you guys have finished off drives in the low red zone area, and how big of an emphasis was that for you guys coming into this season?
Well, I mean, I think it was the emphasis more of trying to get the run game going because it gets really hard even though we throw the ball so well. And I know Coach Day, Coach Hartline, Coach Dennis always work up the best red zone plan to throw the ball. But, those windows get tighter, those spaces get tighter. So your ability to run the ball in the red zone is when you really can can be a better red zone offense. And that was the emphasis of all off season, was just to be a little bit better in the run game. And we're building that way. We got a ways to go, but we're trending. So I think as the run game goes, you stay on schedule, you get more manageables, you get play action, and that's helped the low red offense. But I think the emphasis was more on, yes, we do need to score touchdowns, but can we run the ball better, and can we run the ball in tough situations, short yardage, goal line, low red. And right now we're not where we need to be, but we're getting better at that. And that's it's good to see for our team.
Kevin, you've seen a lot of great quarterbacks. It seems like the thing that separates the best is this ability to process information quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Where's CJ on that, and is he among the best you've seen?
Yeah, definitely one of the best. I and the game has evolved so much, as old as I guess I am to see it, but Sam Bradford was the first guy I thought had the quickest mind, and I would say CJ's rivals his, and not only the ability to have a quick mind, but the ability to see and process, because where's your vision? What do you see? I think he sees things very, very clearly. I think the way it works with Coach Day and Coach Dennis, he's very much in sync with what Coach Day wants him to do and where his eyes need to be and what his looks are and what his checkdowns are. And I heard him up here talking about, we're in a day and age where you guys cover him so much that if he throws an incomplete pass, it hurts his QBR. And it's sometimes years ago, I was taught that an incomplete pass wasn't that bad. I think Coach Hayes, the legendary coach, had a quote about that about things that happen when you throw the ball. And, we always said throwing away wasn't the worst thing ever. But in this day and age where it seems like you got to make every shot, to not force into tight windows, the way our defense has played this preseason, he's had to scramble a lot, learn how to extend plays and make scramble plays. But he's very, very talented. He's very, very brilliant. And I think he sees the game for a young kid as well as I've ever seen a quarterback.
Over here to the right, Brendan Gulick, Buckeyes Now on Sports Illustrated.
Hi, Coach. Congratulations on a good night. Specific to Cade Stover, he feels like the quintessential Buckeye. He seems like the guy that just emboldens everything that you guys are about. When you see his toughness and the way he picks up teammates and then the way he goes out and performs, how gratifying is that for you? And how does that help, build the culture that you guys try to build?
I mean, very much. I mean, I think you heard CJ Sego says, a guy he looks up to. He's a real leader because he leads by actions first. His work ethic, his durability, his consistency. He'll go out there and we GPS track those guys' yardage, and he's got a lot of yards in Tuesday, Wednesday practice, a lot of volume, but then he's up there blocking those defensive ends that are some of the most talented defensive ends in the country. And so the wear and tear that he puts and just his ability to consistently practice earns him great respect from his teammates. And, it seems like, you guys, we see him around here. We only notice those guys when they catch the ball, but that room's been pretty good blocking for several years. There's some toughness. There's some core values. Sometimes when we're not good running the game, it's our guys that aren't good on the edge, my guys. And when they're doing pretty good, they're actually pretty good. And so again, I think he's much better athlete than people give him credit for. I think he's a great athlete, great ball skills. I think he's the quintessential tight end because he's got size, he's got toughness, he's not flashy. He's a little bit dirty, but he's got some ball skills. And our team loves him. I love him. I think he's a special player. I'm happy. Long way to go. We're just starting. Long way to go with him. I'm counting on a big year without that kid.
We'll go to Pat Murphy, 24/7 Sports.
Kevin, we heard about the depth at running back with the top three guys, and I know Evan obviously got hurt, but tonight you guys showed quite a bit more. What does that room give beyond maybe the top two guys that we saw the first couple weeks?
Yeah, the top two guys are really special. We thought, again, the young guys are coming on. Now, TC's a walk-on guy. He's kind of popped in practice because he's going against the one defense. And that couple plays he made tonight, he's just got a little knack and feel. So for a walk-on freshman, very gifted, probably just overlooked in the recruiting process. We're glad he's here. And we're going to do everything to keep enhanced and bring him along. And I just early – I didn't realize when he got here how instinctive and quick Dallin was. Just his ability to, when he makes a cut, he's still going vertical. He's downhill and he's up on you. And it's great for young kids that are learning how to take care of the ball. They're still learning the offense. But we'll need those guys for some wear and tear and some durability down the stretch. And those are two really talented young freshmen. Dallin's doing great. He's a good young player.
Austin Ward, Rivals, 97.1 The Fan.
Kevin, Mitch has been here for half a decade. When was that first moment that you thought, we might really have something that we can use here?
I didn't 2 years ago. And I even told him, I think you're an NFL fullback. I don't know if you think that, but I think that. There's not a lot of guys that do that, and the NFL still plays with that position quite a bit. And he kind of came on, and as he came on a couple years ago and had a couple plays in a couple of our games, it got a little bit out of hand, and his special team role took off. And I'm glad he came back for this extra year. If he stays healthy, maybe he gets that opportunity, maybe not. I think he's, beauty in the eye of the beholder. But again, he and Cade give us maturity, give us toughness. They don't give us a lot of flash, but they give us great play. And those are, I sit in that room every day with two men that I have a lot of respect for. They're special players. Excuse me? No, one formation was called I right tight. So one was called jumbo, and one was called heavy. So
we'll go here to the right. Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Kevin, you're 3 games in. How ready do you think this offense is for Big Ten play? What have you seen so far?
Big Ten play is different. It's more challenging. It's more physical up front. No disrespect. I had a lot of respect for Toledo's defensive line coming in. The Notre Dame front that we played was very, very deep and talent. But when you get in the Big Ten play, it's a line of scrimmage league. It's a tough league. It wears on you week after week after week. We're starting with a big challenge with a great line of scrimmage team on both sides coming up next week when Wisconsin walks into the shoes. So it's as good as the offense might look. The offense is not good until the end of the year, and you can see how tough and how consistent it is. We got enough skill. Coach Day will do a great job as we put the game plans together to get guys opportunity to make plays. But the great teams are tough. They're consistent. They play week after week, and they find ways to get W's. And we'll see if this team's ready to be a Big Ten team as we start with a great challenge and we play week after week because it's a bear in this league.
We got time for a couple more questions for Coach, but we do need to start wrapping it up with Cam Martinez in the back. Over here to the left, Bill Landis, Rivals.
Kevin, we've seen how good CJ can be in the pocket for over a year now, but he seems to be expanding that to more movement throws, more play extension. Just how much better has he gotten at that area from your perspective?
We've always tried to have a little bit in the pass game, move in the pocket a little bit. Our defense with that umbrella coverage they play just forced us a lot during spring and preseason that the initial throws weren't open in practice or 7-on-7. Matter of fact, sometimes we call 7-on-7 drill now 7-on-8 because they put a defensive end out there and drop the guys. Like, geez, so there's nobody open, so you got to buy some time and scramble. And I think a year ago someone had some stats. I don't know if I buy all the PFF stats because I don't know who does those stats and how accurate they are. But our worst stat that someone posted was scrambles. Of all the plays last year, when you look at our quick passes, out passes, deep passes play, our worst pass play last year was scrambles. Well, we didn't work on it that much. We really weren't trying to work on it this year, but our defense forced us to, and it's gotten to where we're pretty good at it. And again, I do think the thing for CJ is when to scramble, make a play, and when to scramble and throw it away. And the hype that these quarterbacks get and all the accolades and the ratings and completion percentages. I say this story, but when I was a player, our completion percentage goal was 57%. I remember that number. That would put you in the bottom 50 of college football right now. That was our goal back then. And so his ability to just be smart and not force it and check it down and manage what's going on is, to me, what great players do. And, he played great tonight. So, again, I appreciate the way he's playing. I appreciate the scrambles. And once in a while, I appreciate the throwaway because some teams are going to drop everybody. Maybe it's not there. Tonight he had a nice scramble. When they dropped everyone, tucked it down, slid up there, and took us, I think, from second long into third and manageable and kept a drive alive, which was a great play.
And final 2 questions. First one from Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Kevin, the plays that Cade has made him a passing game for the last couple of weeks. Would he have been capable of making those plays last year, or does that speak to how much he's grown as a pass catcher?
He's grown as a pass catcher. He worked a lot this summer, with behind scenes. Keenan Bailey's kind of working with the offenses, worked with receivers, and kind of got with him a little bit just in understanding coverages and attacking leverages of guys. And they spent some time together, behind scenes, just trying to be better. I think a year ago, sometimes he would rush some things, and when we were practicing, but also a year ago, he wasn't as complete as Jeremy, wasn't going to play as much. Those plays were kind of Jeremy's plays. And with the receivers had last year, they didn't get Jeremy's way. Jeremy wasn't good enough or they weren't there. Right now, Cade's coming on strong, and he's good enough to get in the mix. And with some of the, if we can get the run game going, the play action comes off the running game. And sometimes that's where Mitch and Cade can be a little bit more. We're in the drop back game. Sometimes those guys maybe are 3 or 4 in some of your route progressions. In the play action game, sometimes they're 1 or 2. And that gets maybe the ball come their way a little bit. And Coach Day's doing a really good job of trying to, we're working hard. The one big play we had tonight, at the end of the game to Ballard, we're really just trying to get a flat throw for G to get a touch for G, and they busted a coverage, and it was a big play. So we're just trying to get G a touch. So as coaches, when we try to do things, it didn't work out a whole lot anyway. So.
And final question for Coach Wilson, Tim May on 3.
Yeah, Kevin, you might have been asked about this already, but Dallin Hayden, the way he came on in camp and stuff, has just kept progressing. And all of a sudden tonight, basically, he's your backup running back as the thing progresses. Just what have you seen out of him from your perspective?
You know, coming in, we knew he was a good recruit, and Tony does a great job coaching. But to me, instinctively, and TC, our young guy there, the walk-on players, saying, well, they're just instinctive when they make cuts. And because to me, there's a little instinct or feel or vision. When he makes a cut, and he makes a guy miss, but he's going forward. He doesn't stop his feet and start chattering. So he's able to be a downhill runner, to not be a big guy. He kind of runs downhill. He runs behind his pads. He's very instinctive. And like to me, he flashed the first couple of days like, well, that's just a nice run. Maybe it's a 4 or 5 yard play, but that was a nice cut. That was instinctive. That was natural. He's got a chance to be a really good back.
Great. Coach, thank you
Thanks,
very
guys.
much.
Go Bucks.
Special thanks to Keith Frisch, our electronics guy. Thank you so much, buddy.